I realize the incredible capability we have in our own ranks, right at our fingertips, to take advantage of space capabilities. And again, the goal with this kind of environment today is that not only the actions of the United States of America directly connected to Southern Command headquarters, but all of you also contribute to this. So, in turn, we play a better role in supporting you, our partner nations, friends, and allies. We're seeing the real impact of this right now. Recently, the Ecuadorian army used the TACSRT system to successfully identify and destroy 3 clandestine airstrips used by the cartels. That's space power directly enabling success on the ground.
The United States has confirmed that it used space weapons in the fight against the cartels, raising the shield of the Americas' military action to an unprecedented level. With American support, the Ecuadorian armed forces used the TACSRT system to identify and destroy 3 clandestine airstrips, which were essential for the logistics of criminal organizations in the region. This show of power demonstrates how space technology is already being successfully applied in the fight against drug trafficking, expanding surveillance and response capabilities across the continent. Southern Command also began sharing space situational awareness data with its allies. This innovative technology involves monitoring and analyzing objects and activities in space in real time, allowing the detection of illegal air routes, suspicious movements, and even strategic communications of the cartels. According to the commander of Southern Command, General Francis L. Donovan, the goal is to impose comprehensive systemic pressure on criminal networks, where space capabilities will be decisive in dismantling regional cartels and reducing the influence of organizations such as Tren de Aragua, FARC, Comando Vermelho, PCC, and Cartel de los Soles. What we are witnessing is something unprecedented, which could reshape the regional fight against organized crime. Welcome to Vida No Cuartel. The power of the Southern Command is vast, as it can mobilize the entire structure of the United States Armed Forces, including the newly created Space Force. This integration ensures that operations like the Shield of the Americas Offensive have access to land, naval, air, and space resources, creating a multi-dimensional combat network against the cartels. The ability to coordinate different military branches into a single strategy exponentially expands the reach and effectiveness of the actions. Among the technologies used, the TACSRT stands out, an advanced reconnaissance system that allows for precise identification of clandestine airstrips and illegal air routes. Meanwhile, space situational awareness provides real-time monitoring of objects and activities in space, allowing the detection of suspicious movements and strategic communications by the cartels. This expanded vision creates a layer of surveillance that was previously impossible, making space technologies valuable tools in the fight against organized crime. In addition, Southern Command can employ high-resolution satellites, long-range drones, and electronic interception systems. Satellites provide detailed images of remote areas. Drones expand surveillance capabilities without exposing troops, and interception systems allow tracking of communications between factions. Together, these technologies turn the Shield of the Americas offensive into an operation capable of imposing systemic friction on criminal networks, making their logistics, communication, and territorial expansion more difficult. Paraguay and Ecuador have already confirmed concrete results by joining the Shield of the Americas. With direct support from the United States, these countries have managed to reduce the presence of cartels in strategic areas, using advanced technologies and joint operations that go beyond the capabilities of local police forces. The political effect is clear. Governments that accepted international cooperation reap immediate gains in security and stability, while countries that stayed out of the offensive, like Brazil and Colombia, continue to suffer at the hands of violent and increasingly well-armed criminals. Brazil and Colombia remain stagnant, trapped in catch-and-release policies that sacrifice their police forces daily in a never-ending cycle.
Elsewhere, the police fight back against the criminals' offensive, shooting at the traffickers.
Without federal support and without full integration into the Shield of the Americas, the fight against factions in these countries becomes distant and ineffective. The past decades of rising crime confirm that their crime-fighting policies have failed, leaving the population vulnerable and reinforcing the need for a structural change in the way public security is conducted. The Marines who operate alongside the Southern Command in amphibious operations use the TACSRT system to enhance their operational capabilities. The system, which is designed for reconnaissance and surveillance, allows the identification of clandestine airstrips, illegal air routes, and logistical support points used by the factions. With this information, the Marines are able to plan more precise attacks and coordinate operations with local forces, reducing risks and increasing effectiveness on the ground. The TACSRT functions as an advanced intelligence tool, turning data into immediate operational advantage. Space situational awareness operates on another strategic layer, providing real-time monitoring of objects and activities in space, such as radio waves. This technology makes it possible to detect suspicious movements, track clandestine aircraft, and even intercept the cartel's strategic communications. For the troops on the ground, this means receiving updated and integrated information directly on the battlefield, ensuring that every operation is supported by a global view. This capability worries some presidents who are not part of the Shield of the Americas, as they fear that the use of these technologies within their territories could create political pressure on their sovereignty.
SRT has an advanced crew advantage.
If the current Brazilian government does not adopt concrete measures to combat the cartels and support continental efforts against these criminal organizations, it is possible that trafficking vessels and structures will be destroyed on Brazilian soil or even in the maritime zone. The America's Shield Offensive has already demonstrated that the combined use of military forces and space technologies can neutralize routes and clandestine bases with great effectiveness. If Brazil remains inert in the face of the military coalition, it risks seeing international operations directly target sites within its territory, highlighting the weakness of a policy that insists on confronting factions only with speeches and limited resources.
I don't want the armed forces, in the slums fighting with criminals. Isn't that the role of the armed forces? As long as I'm president, there won't be any military public order deployments.
Here on Vida No Cartel, you stay up to date with everything happening in the military world. Leave a like, subscribe, and watch one of the videos that's appearing on your screen. Forward, soldiers! See you next time.